Dubai wasn't designed to be lived in. It was designed to be sold. From the beginning, real estate here functioned as a financial product, not housing. Entire districts were planned for foreign buyers, short-term rentals, and speculative ownership. Over 85% of housing units in central areas are owned by investors, not residents. That shows up immediately in daily life. Ground floors are empty or gated. Shops are spaced far apart. Walking requires crossing 8 to 12 lanes of traffic. The metro covers less than 15% of the urbanized area, forcing residents into cars for basic trips. Public space is minimal because public life doesn't increase property yield. Luxury towers rise next to 6-lane highways, sidewalks end abruptly. Shade is optional in a city that reaches 50 degrees Celsius in summer. Developers marketed sustainable living while selling ski slopes inside malls and artificial islands offshore. This isn't a city optimized for humans, it's a portfolio optimized for capital storage. London. London looks historic, but its housing system is financial infrastructure. Over 40% of new-build homes in central London are bought as investment assets. Many are never occupied. Entire buildings remain dark at night. Housing supply exists, but access does not. Average home prices sit at over 12 times the median income, forcing workers to commute 60 to 90 minutes each way. Public transport absorbs the pressure while private ownership extracts value. New developments prioritize luxury units because they maximize return per square meter. Affordable units are minimized or placed off-site. Public space is technically open but practically enclosed. Private security, controlled access, and restricted uses dominate new districts. The city keeps functioning because people endure it, not because it supports them. London didn't forget people, it priced them out. Hong Kong. Hong Kong treats land as a revenue engine. Over 70% of government revenue comes from land premiums and property-related income. That incentive shapes everything. Housing supply is intentionally constrained. Average apartment sizes sit around 450 square feet for entire families. Public housing wait times exceed 5 years, while luxury towers remain partially empty. Developers control large land banks. Competition is limited. Prices stay high by design. Street life survives only where old fabric remains. New districts are podiums, malls, and elevated walkways built to move consumers, not neighbors. This is what happens when land policy prioritizes fiscal extraction over shelter. Homes stop being places to live. They become instruments to collect rent from an entire city. New York City. New York builds constantly, yet remains unaffordable. Why? Because most new housing targets investors. Luxury condos dominate new construction in Manhattan and parts of Brooklyn. Many are owned through shell companies. Occupancy is optional. Meanwhile, zoning restricts density in most neighborhoods. Over 70% of residential land is locked into low-rise housing. The result is artificial scarcity. Rents rise faster than wages. People double up or move farther out. Commutes lengthen. Public transit absorbs millions daily while housing remains financially inaccessible near jobs. The city grows wealth on paper while daily life becomes tighter, louder, and more crowded. New York isn't short on buildings, it's short on homes meant to be lived in. Toronto. Toronto keeps expanding upward. Daily life keeps shrinking. Housing here stopped behaving like shelter a long time ago. It became a financial instrument traded at scale. Nearly 4 out of every 10 condo units in the metro area are owned by investors, not residents. That choice shapes the entire city. Studios and one-bedroom units dominate new construction. Family-sized homes are rare. Communities are temporary by design. Ground floors cater to short-term tenants and transient spending. Schools struggle to stay local. Neighborhoods churn faster than they stabilize. Prices rise independently of wages because demand isn't tied to living, it's tied to yield. Workers move farther out. Commutes lengthen. Transit absorbs the pressure while ownership extracts the value. Toronto keeps building. But it's not building homes, it's building assets. Vancouver. Vancouver sells the idea of livability, then prices people out of it. Property here functions as a wealth store first and housing second. Ownership matters more than occupancy. A large share of condominiums are held as investment properties, not primary residences. That decision shows up immediately. Towers rise near transit lines, but many units remain empty or lightly occupied. New developments prioritize small units because they maximize rent per square foot. Families are priced out of the core by default. Entire neighborhoods feel quiet during the day and hollow at night. Public life thins when residents are optional. Housing costs rise far faster than local incomes. Ownership becomes unreachable. Rent becomes permanent. The city advertises quality of life. But quality of life isn't transferable. This isn't a city organized around daily living. It's a market organized around appreciation. Atlanta. Atlanta didn't just grow quickly, it grew profitably. Single-family housing here became a target for large-scale investors. Whole neighborhoods shifted ownership without residents ever moving. In some areas, investors purchased a significant share of all homes sold. That changes who the city serves. Starter homes disappear first, prices climb, local buyers lose. Rents rise because investor math demands it. Displacement accelerates as longtime residents are pushed outward. Commutes stretch longer as families chase affordability farther from jobs. Car dependence deepens. Time becomes the hidden tax. Neighborhood stability weakens when ownership is distant and temporary. Communities turn into revenue streams. Atlanta didn't lose affordability slowly. It lost it decisively. This isn't a city designed for people to settle. It's a system designed for capital to circulate. San Francisco. San Francisco didn't run out of space. It ran out of permission to live. Housing here is treated less like shelter and more like a speculative instrument guarded by policy. Construction is slow by design. Scarcity is enforced. Over 2/3 of residential land is restricted to low-density housing, even as demand explodes. That choice protects asset values, not residents. New housing arrives in small quantities and at extreme prices. Tech salaries bid against each other. Everyone else loses. Entire buildings sit partially empty while rents remain among the highest in the country. Vacancy exists. Access does not. Daily life reflects the math. Workers commute from distant cities because living near jobs is financially impossible. Sidewalks are busy, but neighborhoods feel transient. Local businesses struggle as customers cycle through instead of settling down. Public space absorbs pressure it was never designed to handle. Homelessness becomes visible not because the city lacks wealth, but because housing is priced as an asset first and a necessity second. San Francisco still produces innovation, but it no longer produces stability. This isn't a city shaped around people building lives, it's a city shaped around preserving scarcity. Cities designed for investors don't collapse, they hollow out. They keep functioning while quietly extracting time, money, and energy from the people who keep them alive. If your city feels expensive, exhausting, and distant, that's not a coincidence. It was designed that way. Which city do you think has gone the furthest down this path? Let me know in the comments.